The cabin in the clearing. We'd been hiking for hours, following the trail that wound through dense forest and over rocky terrain. The plan was simple: reach the clearing, set up a camp, and enjoy a weekend away from everything. There were 4 of us: me, Jake, Sarah, and Matt, each looking forward to disconnecting from the chaos of the city. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, we finally reached the clearing. It was a wide, open space surrounded by tall trees, with a small, dilapidated cabin standing in its center. The cabin wasn't on any map we'd checked, and none of us had heard about it before. It looked old, abandoned, but oddly out of place. We debated for a moment, wondering if we should keep moving or set up camp elsewhere. But the long hike had left us exhausted. The cabin, though eerie, was shelter, and it saved us the trouble of pitching tents, so we decided to spend the night there. The inside was even creepier than the outside. Dust covered every surface, and the furniture looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. There were strange symbols carved into the wooden walls, and the windows were grimy, letting in only a dim light. We set up our sleeping bags in the main room, trying to make the best of it. Air felt heavy, and despite our attempts to lighten the mood with jokes and stories, there was a tension that none of us could shake. As night fell, the forest outside became an impenetrable wall of black. The only light came from the small lantern we'd brought with us, casting long, flickering shadows that danced across the room. The wind outside picked up, making the old cabin creak and groan. That's when we heard the footsteps. They were faint at first, like someone was slowly circling the cabin. We all heard it. Jake's hand froze on his deck of cards. Sarah's eyes widened, and Matt reached out for his flashlight. We all waited, barely breathing, straining to hear. The footsteps stopped, and for a moment, everything was silent. Then, the doorknob rattled. My heart pounded in my chest as Matt shone the flashlight toward the door. The light revealed nothing, just the old worn wood of the cabin. But we all knew what we'd heard. Someone, or something, was outside. Jake, always the bravest, got up and walked slowly toward the door. "Probably just the wind," he muttered, but I could hear the doubt in his voice. He reached for the doorknob, hesitated for a moment, then yanked the door open. The flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing nothing. Just the clearing, the trees, and the night sky. We all let out a breath we didn't realize we were holding, but the tension didn't lift. We tried to go back to our game, but the unease lingered. The wind outside grew stronger, making the cabin groan louder, almost like if it was alive, reacting to something unseen. And then we heard the scratching. It started as a faint, almost imperceptible sound, like nails on the wood. It seemed to be coming from beneath the floorboards. We all froze, listening as the scratching grew louder, more frantic, like something was trying to claw its way out. Panic set in. We grabbed our things and bolted out of the cabin, not stopping until we were back on the trail, the cabin a distant shadow behind us. We didn't speak much on the way back, each of us lost in our own thoughts, trying to process what had happened. When we finally reached the safety of our cars, we made a silent pact not to talk about the cabin again. But I can't forget the sound of those footsteps, the rattling doorknob, the scratching beneath the floorboards. I still dream about it, and in my dreams, I'm back in that cabin, hearing the sounds, knowing that something is still there, waiting for the next group of campers to stumble upon it.